can become successful from nothing if you really wanted to. You don't need a degree from an average university, but these schools, make no mistake, these schools do give rich kids a very real unfair advantage. Because while you and me were conditioned for 12 plus years by plebeian teachers surrounded by plebeian students for a plebeian life, these rich kids were raised around power and wealth. They got to rub shoulders with the other rich and powerful. They didn't get conditioned to be laborers like we did. They were conditioned to take their rightful place on the modern day throne. And LeRosey isn't the only school out there. There are elite schools like this.
What's happening? Y'all already know, man. Thank y'all for tuning in to Slum Network, Slum Media, whatever you want to call it. Just know everything's slum around here. And this your boy, Project Slumlord, king of the slum business, Big Slum, aka the boy Slumlord Buns. And we back with another reaction video. And yes, ain't nothing changed. It's still the same day. I just took my hat off and took my, you know what I'm saying, grill out, but you know, ain't nothing changed, still the same day. But thank y'all again. Let me just say that to all the big slums and slum ass, that's the subscribers who subscribe and be supporting these videos. So before we get into this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell notification so y'all can get all these notifications. Hit all my notifications on every platform. But anyway, without further ado, for this video, we're gonna be getting into the most expensive school for only the world's most wealthiest, richest kids. And it's also secretive, so nobody really knew about this until this video. So now, shout out to Jake Tran again for another video. I'm gonna leave that video to this in the description. I'm gonna leave also the links to my other YouTube channels in the description so y'all could check out my other content on my other channels, because I do other content as well. But without further ado, let's get into this video.
Yes, that's just what I like. I be sipping on mud. Bitch, I come from the mud. Yeah.
In the mountains of Switzerland lies one of the oldest and most exclusive boarding schools on the planet. And this school isn't just for rich people. It's not for the 1%. No, it's for the 0.001%. This is where billionaires and royalty send their children to be educated. It's even known as a school of kings for just how prestigious and expensive it is. Former students have included the Shah of Iran, Prince Rainier of Monaco, King Albert II of Belgium, Winston Churchill's grandchildren, John Lennon's son Sean Lennon. Even the Rockefeller, DuPont, and Rothschild families went to school here. It costs $157,000 per year to attend this all-powerful boarding school, which is around $70,000 more than Harvard. And what are they getting for all this money?
Not only this, the school has two campuses. One located in the Chateau du Rosey estate in Rolle, built in the 14th century, and the other campus is located in chalets in the ski resort of Gstaad.
And teaching is in English and French. Students absorb the culture and character of both English and French-speaking ways of thinking, and in total, over 20 languages are taught at LeRosey.
Why that school look mad regular? I don't know. I think I was just expecting some extravagant stuff due to the fact, like, the type of school it is, on top of the fact that what is these teachers' salaries? Like, if they teaching the world's most wealthiest children, what do you think these teachers' salary is?
LeRosey, ensuring that students also maintain contact with their own culture.
We got a little young melanated brother up in there. Yeah, shout out to that.
LeRosey is the learning center where the library holds a collection of over 20,000 books in several languages. Group work, classes, and private study allow students to gain increasing autonomy in their academic work while still providing the possibility of consulting teachers at any time. All students have their own laptop, which they use regularly in class and for homework, with an emphasis on the importance of creativity.
The school has a private sailing center on Lake Geneva with its own 38-foot yacht, a fully functioning stable with 30 horses of the best breed and health. In the winter, students are given full access to a local ski resort in the gorgeous Swiss Alps. You get a 5-star dinner prepared by experts.
Dang, that's at school? That's at school? And they get a 5-star dinner? Oh, They better be for 150,000 a year.
chefs every single night, and there's even a private spa for the students to recharge after all their hard work. And yet,
What? They get a spa at school so they can recharge? But they got the regular children in schools that look like jails?
most of you have never even heard of this place before. That's because they've worked hard to stay out of the spotlight and to keep their billionaire school children hidden up in the mountains. Because the truth is, it's not the fancy amenities that keeps the richest families in the world sending their kids here. It's because these institutions systematically pump out tomorrow's world leaders. The people who are going to control businesses, countries, and us.
That sound like indoctrination. Only these kids go because we know they going, yeah, we got to train them up young.
That's why the rich send their kids to Institut LeRosey. See, in today's world, if you work hard and smart,
Institut LeRosey. Institut LeRosey. Is that the name of it?
you can become successful from nothing if you really wanted to. You don't need a degree from an average university. But these schools? Make no mistake, these schools do give rich kids a very real unfair advantage. Because while you and me were conditioned for 12 plus years by plebeian teachers surrounded by plebeian students for a plebeian life, these rich kids were raised around power and wealth. They got to rub shoulders with the other rich and powerful. They didn't get conditioned to be laborers like we did. They were conditioned to take their rightful place on the modern day throne. And LeRosey isn't the only school out there. There are elite schools like this all over the world, pumping out tomorrow's rulers. Stay dangerous, and this is what the 0.001% doesn't want you to know.
Yeah, tell us, Jake. Tell us, Jake Tran. I want to know.
You can bet that these elite schools are giving kids a head start on AI. But now you too can get a head start on AI with Prompt Perfect. So Prompt Perfect is this insane tool that helps you write better prompts for ChatGPT or even Stable Diffusion or Midjourney. So take this prompt for example, write an article about Elon Musk creating SpaceX, and right down here ChatGPT creates a very average looking AI written article. Now let's take the same prompt and put it into Prompt Perfect. As you can see, it's optimizing it right here. Isn't easy. Even people with a few extra $1 million to spend on their kids' education are fighting for the chance to get in. LeRosey accepts children as young as 7 years old, but there are super competitive admission rounds that evaluate
Okay, that is a school name. LeRosey.
students on their intellectual ability, language skills, character, and personality. Students are expected to speak at least 2 languages, and spoiled, antisocial, or severely challenged children will not be admitted to schools like LeRosey. But let's get real here. It's less about how gifted you are and more about who your parents are and how much money they have in the bank. These are the kind of schools where people ask who your parents are before they even ask for your name. So what should you expect if you manage to prove yourself and actually get into an elite school? 8:30 a.m. Wake up in your perfect dorm room with an in-suite bathroom, which is basically like your own apartments. Attend classes taught by some of the brightest minds in those disciplines.
8:30, they got to get up at 8:30. So they get to sleep till 8:30. In public school, you get in class by 8 o'clock. You got to be you got to get up at 6 just to get ready at 6:30 or so, just to get up and get ready, just to get on the bus and catch the bus. Or even get dropped off. They getting up at 8:30.
A few hours, each class will only have a couple of students for every teacher to ensure that you understand everything and are given the very best education. 12:30 p.m. Spend the afternoon connecting with your classmates from all over the world. We're talking about the sons and daughters of diplomats, presidents, and kings. Then go back to class and learn about things like entrepreneurship and multiple languages. 3 p.m. Broaden your horizon.
Wow. So they teach entrepreneurship in those schools, but they don't teach that in public school. You see how they literally telling you that we was conditioned to be the working class slaves.
Rises by mastering any sport you could ever think of in professional fields and stadiums. Maybe learn how to play an instrument at the Juilliard level, or take art or drama classes that end up getting you onto Broadway. 7:30 p.m. Get ready for a restaurant quality dinner prepared by only the best chefs. After eating, attend an on-campus show or lecture, hang out with your rich kid friends. On the weekend, maybe you'll be taken on a cultural getaway, or you'll attend an important social event. It's a very strict life but luxurious. Plus, it leads to a resume that will buy you a one-way ticket into any elite college around the world. And then to the seats of power of your choosing, just like the people it's already worked for.
Indoctrination. Yeah, you rich, but you got to be able to follow and go along just like in school. Follow these strict plans, daily routine plans, because if you can follow this, then I know you can follow whatever I tell you when you get all this reward that's going to come to you. Would y'all follow? I ain't gonna lie. If I was given the opportunity, yeah, I probably would too. Shoot, I'm trying to get my riches and get. You know, you gotta keep up the family name and stuff. You know, only. I don't know. I'm gonna just be quiet.
Everyone has heard of Harvard and Yale, but nobody really knows about the collection of elite schools where Harvard and Yale get a lot of their students from. Schools like the Hurtwood House School, that's located inside a mansion on 200 acres of land with a budget of $125,000 for the Christmas musical every year alone. Or LeRosey, a school designed by Apple that's known for turning kids as young as 3 into tech geniuses. And all these places have an impressive list of former students to back up their claims.
Nigga, Apple done started a school? That's crazy.
Google CFO Pietro Dova and Princess Tatiana of Greece.
Again, see? They telling you the indoctrination. I need you. I'ma start a school. The richest people of the world. I'ma start a school just so, you know what I'm saying, I could get the best students to come into my field. That's crazy.
Greece and Denmark attended the lavish Aiglon College in the Swiss mountains. The Vanderbilt family and the Saudi royal family were both educated at the Layton American School. The Lawrenceville School is the alma mater for both billionaire publisher Malcolm Forbes and former Disney CEO Michael Eisner. Prince Harry and William, the writer of the James Bond series Ian Fleming, and famous actors Hugh Laurie and Eddie Redmayne all went to Eton College in the UK. And places like the Rosenberg Institute have so many powerful names coming through that it's their policy to keep their list of students a closely guarded secret. It's insane just how many wealthy people that influence your lives right now attended these elite boarding schools. And although there are plenty of examples of very successful people coming out from nothing without going to a fancy boarding school, without going to a fancy university, the harsh reality is that we
Bruh, y'all see what I'm seeing? This is crazy.
have met people like this that grew up around business, that grew up around wealth, and they are so many miles ahead of the masses that it's almost unfair.
I guarantee you, and I'm gonna stop pausing this so much, but I guarantee you, y'all, I don't want to get conspiracy theory or nothing, but I'm about to get conspiracy theory on this business. You feel me? You thought I was gonna cuss, nah, but I guarantee you, some way, somehow, all this school is connected to the WEF, the World Economic Forum. I guarantee you, some way, somehow. But I promise you, I guarantee you it is.
Where you went to school does matter to an extent. Getting a degree from an average university will set you up for an average life. But there's a reason why Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, Bill Gates, and many more all went to the best Ivy League schools. And when it comes to the lucky rich kids who were conditioned from childhood to be successful, well, we have actually met some of them, and these people are true business people. Way better than me or anyone I know. Like, to them, making money in business is as natural as breathing air or riding a bike. Because they weren't fed the wrong
because them people was taught how money works at a young age instead of being indoctrinated with the BS of math, arithmetic, and all that extra stuff that the average student has to learn, wasting 12 years of they, you know what I'm saying, adolescents learning BS when they could be taught, you know, the same stuff, the same type of. This is why it's better to homeschool your children, in my opinion, so you can teach your children the qualities, the things that they're going to need that's going to benefit them in the longer run, as us being adults, as living and falling into the same mistakes believing the same thing, but realizing that that we was lied to, and actually teaching them stuff that they need to know. Like, but this is really, they're not special. They just was, they had the money to afford them to teach them. A better education is having people that's going to teach you what you need, that's going to actually benefit your life. You need to probably learn all that math and stuff up until about the 6th grade. Hell, up until the 12th too, but pretty much you don't need, unless you plan on being a scientist, you don't need to learn science. Unless you plan on being science should be a class that you learn in college because you plan to be a scientist. But everybody has to learn money. Everybody has to learn what financial literacy is. Everybody got to learn entrepreneurship so they can have financial freedom. Everybody needs to learn about taxes and credit and stuff like that so they can understand how money works and how credit works and how taxes work. But instead, we're not teaching that. We teaching unnecessary stuff in our younger children, but these children are being taught the things that they still ain't teaching adults. You gotta learn and go figure out. You gotta learn you need it first off, and then you gotta go figure it out on your own.
Entire lives unlike us.
First of all, like about schools, our kids spend first of all, they sleep 8 hours, right? They wake up morning, they go to the school, they spend there like 8-9 hours, and we don't know with who they spend time. Maybe these teachers, you don't even know what they're thinking, what they have on their mind, and you let them to give education to your kids. It's very dangerous. If you not agree with these teachers on your life position, but you let them teach your kids, and when they become 16, you want they become like you. This don't work. You have to control who teach your kids. And a lot of people miss this. A lot of crazy people, they're working in school too. And they give education to your kids. But if you talk one-on-one with them, like you're not gonna spend with them even 5 minutes. But they spend with your kids 8 hours every day.
What a point.
You know, it's like very dangerous thing.
Yeah.
You have to control this.
And let's face it, institutions like these elite schools ensure that the bloodlines in power stay.
I agree with him. Everything he said the same thing I said, just in a different way. So I agree with him.
In power. The kids of the powerful are put in a bubble with other kids of the powerful to ensure that no plebs poison their worldview, while leaving nothing but scraps for the rest of the 99.999%.
Indoctrination, like I just said. And they're teaching them the stuff that the rest of the world, the 99.999%, ain't learning until we already too old.
There's an endless stream of evidence that private schools help make our country unequal. Only 7% of the UK are privately educated, but a disproportionate number occupy some of the most influential jobs.
But the teaching profession is in turmoil. The wage gap between teachers and others with the same level of education and experience is nearly 20% and growing.
The average public school teacher in America earns a little over $50,000 per year. That's about how much money the Rosenberg Institute recommends parents give their kids as spending money during one school year.
As a state school teacher, why would I not want the absolute best for the young people in front of me? Why don't they deserve to have small class sizes, luxurious facilities, access to this incredible network of alumni? And I think that would make our society much better and much fairer, and abolishing private schools is key to that.
In Finland, they did something interesting to combat this. They banned private schools entirely.
We don't see education as an industry, we see education as a basic human right for everybody. And that's why all education is free in Finland. It's against the law to run a private school or private university.
Now Finland is ranked one of the best public education systems out there and has one of the smallest education gaps in the world.
And what that means is that by making the rich kids go to school with everyone else, they grow up with those other kids as friends. And when they become wealthy adults, they have to think twice before they screw them over.
But let's face it, the 0.001% are always—
Nah, that's a good tactic. I could rock with that. That makes sense. But is the school giving the children the best type of information that they can actually use and apply to their lives when they get older. They can take with them, they can grow with it, can the knowledge can grow with them, and they can use it and apply it in their life when they get older. Because it's useless, I'm gonna be honest, mixing the children together, which it does have benefits. I can't say it's useless, because the wealthy children will be able to socialize and they won't be snobby, because they would have experienced people that didn't come from where they come from as children. But I just don't feel like, unless the quality of education is top tier and the best, which it is in Finland, then that's not going to work. But if everybody has the same agenda to make the future better, our future generations better, and want to give them the best quality education possible, from the teachers to the student from the teachers to the entire Department of Education, then yes, by all means, I approve. Let's do it. But if not, if the education ain't up to par and it's just for socialism, then I feel like some children is gonna be lacking because they're not getting the best education. But anyway, let's keep going.
Always gonna want the best education for their offspring. So if it's not Finland, they will simply take their money elsewhere. So if you're not part of the 0.001%, what can you do then if you weren't raised in these elite schools? Well, the first thing is to be extremely glad that you don't have rich parents, because I've met a good amount of rich kids by now, and most of them are not what we described here. Sure, they go to nice schools, sure their parents buy them nicer clothes than you, but deep down 99% of rich kids have absolutely zero drive. They're some of the most insecure people I've met because they're living in the shadows of their parents. They have no idea what they want to do with their lives just like you, but unlike you, they usually have zero hunger. For 99% of kids, growing up with money completely screws them up. So that's the first step, recognizing that your weakness is probably a strength. The next step is to recognize that you still need to take all the stuff you've learned in public school and university and throw it out the window. Because the education system for the masses exists for one thing and one thing only: to pump out hardworking, obedient, thoughtless laborers. And you want to know who else sent their kid to—
I just said that. The working class slaves. That's literally what they want.
An elite private school? The Clintons. Ah yes, Bill and Hillary Clinton sent their daughter Chelsea Clinton to an exclusive K-12 school with a tuition of around $50,000 a year. And you want to know what else is interesting about the Clintons? It's that in the span of around 3 decades, more than 50 people connected to Bill and Hillary Clinton have died. 50 people. And these 50 people all magically died in one of the 3 ways: suicide, plane crash, or robbery gone wrong. Just those 3.
I'm telling you, this school is connected to the World Economic Forum. Somebody in the comments, go research it and come back to the comments. Let me know if it's connected to the World Economic Forum, because I guarantee you. See how all this from a child, they put you in this school, but all this school and all this is connected to powerful people.
And all these people all had dirt on the Clintons that would have ruined their political careers, but now they're conveniently dead. And all these deaths magically came to an end after Clinton left the White House. And we exposed it all in our new—
Over 50 people. Bruh, the Clintons is— They worse than the worst serial killer. 50 people they done unalive, you feel me? That's crazy, my boy. Or girl, you feel me? Like whoever watch it. But yo, that's crazy, gang. Over 50 people. Imagine the cover-ups that how.
New private documentary, The Clinton Kill List, that you can watch right now by clicking the card on the screen. One member said, "Now I understand why you have
to—" Let me know in the comment section what y'all think. Should we do that Clinton kill list? Cause I'm interested and intrigued in who are all 50 people? That's crazy. That's crazy. But I'm telling y'all, I guarantee you that school is connected to the World Economic Forum that's been around for the past, well, Klaus Schwab been the head of the World Economic Forum for the past 50 years, and they've been training people to be in positions of power, world leaders to be in positions of power, and Obama was a part of that. But I guarantee you, and they said Obama went to that school, I guarantee you that school is connected to the World Economic Forum, and a lot of man, listen, anyway, thank y'all for tuning into this video. Y'all already know who it is. Your boy Project Slumlord, King of the Slum Business, aka Slumlord Buns in the building. Till next time, I'm out.
Me and muddy, that's just what I like. I be sipping on mud. Bitch, I come from the mud.